From Cajun country
There's the
to Death
promo.
Valley, this is Fishbowl Sports Radio.
We're breaking down every snap,
Swing,
slam from the Louisiana Raging Cajuns to the
Let
LSU
y'all
Tigers.
populate in here.
two
So,
pro
look,
programs,
we have a
one
chat wide
passionate
open
state.
for
Whether it's Tiger Stadium on a
on
Saturday night,
Instagram and
Or the Cajun Dome rocking
Uh,
midweek.
not
We've
we
got
got
the
the
bull
bold
takes,
takes,
insider
insider
scoops,
scoops,
and homegrown pride you won't
YouTube.
hear
Just come
anywhere
chat with
else.
us. It's very nice.
Fishbowl
Here,
Sports
y'all
Radio,
y'all comments.
where Louisiana sports come to
Here
life.
comes the intro. It's going to be 10 seconds, so y'all give me a second here so I can pay attention. Welcome to Fishbowl Sports here. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Bear. How you doing today, Bear?
I'm good, boss. I'm good. Glad to be here for another wonderful week. Another wonderful wild week.
Another wonderful wild week here. LSU coming off a loss against Alabama. LSU was on the hardwood tonight playing against FIU. They're able to win that game. Just went final. They scored 98 points against FIU to improve to 3-0 on the year. LSU women's won last night as well. LSU looked like they're kind of kicking on all cylinder in all the sports except for football so far. But football, football is a mess right now, just to put it lightly. With everybody, kind of don't come for me or anything like that, but that's just the way it is right now. It's kind of the situation that we find ourselves in Louisiana with LSU, and you got the governor involved in this. You got the governor. You got governments in it. You got big people at LSU involved in it. They just hired a new president that came from Magnes. New athletic director. At one point, they said he might not even be the athletic director. Then they came back and retracted that statement. Brian Kelly taking LSU to court. I mean, Bear, where you want to start, right? Because we could cherry pick this all freaking night if we wanted to.
Well, let's start with the positive note and the fact that LSU men's basketball is 3-0, and we've got guys coming off the bench that were starters last year for the men's basketball team. So the fact that they actually have a deeper roster this year, I mean, that's something to look forward to. But we're still struggling with ball handling, still struggling with turnovers. So I mean, we've yet to see. I don't predict them to go very far, but on a positive note, like I said, let's start there. That we do have a pretty deep roster, and LSU had the number one recruiting class in the transfer portal. So that's something to look forward to. But
That transfer portal's a quick fix. LSU, they shot okay in the first half. Second half, they shot a whole lot better, getting up to 60% from the floor there. Which helped them against FIU to be able to pull away and get the win there.
yeah,
But
you shoot 60% on the floor, consistently. That'll usually win you some games more
yeah,
often than not.
but I noticed FIU wasn't really pressing LSU on defense like toward the second half. Like they started getting winded and stuff, and they wasn't able to keep up with LSU's size and speed on the floor. It
Yeah.
seemed like that
So,
was kind of the difference.
yeah, kind of get into the other stuff with the Brian Kelly's, mess and all that. Like, I don't know. It seems like LSU's trying to find a reason not to have to pay him. They basically said that they didn't fire him. He just hasn't been like basically like a no call, no show situation. And I don't know. They're trying to find an excuse to not have to pay the buyout money, but I mean, you got to do better than that if you want to get out of the buyout money. I don't know.
So I
It's just crazy. Like only Louisiana LSU would have something crazy like this go on.
so from what I'm understanding, looking at just different people reporting things. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go after the
Yeah,
Texas A&M game. Okay,
yeah.
they had that meeting.
Hmm.
Woodward is the AD at the time. Brian Kelly's the head coach. Uh, they wanted to get him to get rid of Joe Sloan. He didn't want to do that. So something happened between the two. And in that
Yeah,
regard, so Woodward, I think, is supposed to go to the board to
yeah.
fire a head coach.
He was supposed to get board of supervisors approval, but at the time the LSU president is part of the board of supervisors,
And he
and they didn't
wasn't
have a
there. There's no
he
president.
wasn't there. Well, technically, Landry's the interim president because the state runs the LSU system, so technically he's the interim president. But you're supposed to get approval from the board of supervisors, and he didn't, and he fired him with cause or without cause. I don't like I said, I don't know it.
I think, and I think that's where LSU is going to get hung up at. I
Yeah.
don't see this being where LSU gets off scot free, and I think Brian Kelly knows this, and I think he's like, yeah, I got him on the hook. I'm gonna get my $50 million, which kudos to him. I would have took all that money too. I mean,
Well, I
LSU
mean,
gave him a big fat contract like that. I mean,
well, it's just one of those things. Like you can't blame the man for wanting his money, but at the same time, like if you're gonna be a jerk and be a butthole, you might as well fight it till the end and just end it with a bang.
yeah, because that board was supposed to have that approval, and it never really got to the board to where they could have like really voted on it to get rid of Brian Kelly. Then Woodward gets fired, and it's a big mess. I just think LSU is going to be in a kind of a bad spot. I think they're
So
going to lose that court case in court unless unless they settle out of it. But I think LSU's in a bad spot. In terms of the letter of the law, whenever you look at this lawsuit, the way it's going there, I think that Brian Kelly is going to win this case because they did not go. The board never approved the firing of Brian Kelly when Scott Woodward was the AD of LSU. So I think that's where LSU is going to be in trouble having to pay this stuff out.
so I don't know. That just kind of leads me to believe that they said that he fired him without board of approval, but it could have been one of those things where how an argument gets heated and the boss says, "Oh, you fired," and you just you leave and you just don't come back. So maybe it was like one of those deals where they just got heated, and he said, "Hey, you fired," and he's like, "No, you can't fire me. I quit," and walked out. And then basically they're using that as a no call, no show because they didn't legally go through the chain of commands or the channel proper channels to fire him, and that's where they're getting the whole no call, no show thing. But nobody knows but Scott Woodward and Brian Kelly and whoever is in charge of this whole mess at LSU. That's
Yeah,
nobody knows.
that's the hard part to figure out. Like what happened behind those closed doors, what happened in that situation. That's what
Because
that that's
you
the
know,
big that's the big tip
yeah,
of the iceberg there. So that is
yeah.
something that they're going to have to figure out and see what happens here.
Well, yeah, there's three sides to every story: yours, theirs, and the truth.
Exactly. All right. So related to this, but not directly so. I mean, well, directly so actually. If you really want to look at it, LSU football taking on Arkansas. Um, so a good friend of mine, Mike Honcho, commonly goes to uh this show every once in a while, appears in the show, and I started the Fishbowl with Mike Honcho way back in the year of 2012 is when we first launched this thing. So um, let's talk about
Sound
it for
like
us.
sound like the four of us need to get together and all do a show one night just for kind of like old time's sake.
Yeah, Mike's got some stuff going on right now, but I
Yeah,
mean, we go to all the
I
Raging Cajun games together, and we still hang out, but it doesn't have enough time for the fishbowl at the moment. But
yeah,
um,
it's fine. I get it.
yeah. Anyway, so he's going to the game. Tickets are really cheap if you look at the upper deck and stuff like that. I mean,
Well,
they got a lot of
I
stuff.
guess.
So 11 a.m. kickoff. How you feel about this game with LSU football heading in there, Bear?
11 a.m. kickoff in Baton Rouge, and not to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of it too much. Basically, from what I saw last week against Alabama, I mean, the offensive line played a little better, not much. We still can't run the ball. Garrett Nussmeyer's, we know that Joe Sloan being fired has not fixed his issues. He's actually looks like to me he's actually gotten worse. He's making some very indecisive. He's very indecisive on the field, not going through his progressions, not making his reads. So, yeah, I mean, now we really see that Garrett Nussmeier is part of the issue, and it's not just the Brian Kelly, Joe Sloan offensive line issue because those two are gone. Still have the offensive line issues, and Garrett Nussmeier still doing what he's doing. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Arkansas is playing better since they fired uh, Sam Pittman, and they almost beat Tennessee. They've been playing better, so it's going to be an interesting game. Not to get too much into it and give away, who I think is going to win. So I'll just leave it at that.
LSU's backup quarterback. You think he should be the starter over Nuss at this point?
I think he's willing to burn his red shirt to play for sure. So I think they need to run two quarterbacks. And the old saying that if you have to run two quarterbacks, you probably don't have one good one. But at this point, we
Exactly.
got to try. We got to try something. We need another win to get just to at least be have a chance to make it to a bowl game. We got to get to that first.
Yeah,
So
you got.
at this point, do it. We got to do what we got to do. If he wants to burn his red shirt, let him burn it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way that's what they're gonna do here in that situation there. Then you got LSU's got Western Kentucky right after Arkansas, and I think
Which is no pushover game either.
um they're gonna have to figure something out with that situation there. It's kind of like it's there's so much going on. I know it's only one game under a new regime, well interim regime at this point. Nothing's been permanent yet. Um, Trying to see the Western Kentucky, then you got Oklahoma. So you got to win one of your last two.
You got to win one
If
of the
if you
last
if
two.
you lose to Arkansas, you're 5-5. I would have to bet them beating Western Kentucky. I could not see them losing that game at Tiger Stadium to not go to a bowl game. But I mean, it is college football, and this has been kind of one of those hectic years for sure here. Um, Are we seeing a potential return to the 1990s for LSU? Just throwing it out there because look, baseball's going great. Baseball might be set up to make a dynasty run in the 2020s, and you got football kind of backpedaling since the beginning of the decade. What you think?
Man, I was a little young to remember those dark days of LSU, but it was. People say, oh, we had, the 6 and 6 year or year with Coach or whatever. No, y'all, those of y'all that are too young to remember, you don't remember the dark days of LSU in the early mid 90s, 2-8, 3-7.
Are
Uh,
we
you
are we
know,
heading back to those paths? You think?
no, I don't. In this day and age of college football, I mean, you really have to take a significant fall off to be able to, especially with as big of a brand as LSU is, you'd really have to take a significant fall off. But I mean, if they get this next hire wrong, very well could be
And I
heading
think
back
there's
to
a,
those dark days.
I think there's a very I'm gonna say this. I think there's a very good chance they get it wrong. Because
Depending on who it is.
I think there's so much money tied up into it. They might do a budget hire. Now I know that because you got like, is Lane Kiffin gonna come to LSU? Look. I've seen betting things in Vegas saying that Saban's coming back to LSU. I don't believe that
No,
one bit.
I don't believe
I
that
don't
either. Not
believe
at
that.
not at his age, and he's got the field named after him at Bryant Denny Stadium. Like, why would
It
he risk
destroys his
all that?
legacy. I mean, I'll look. Obviously, every LSU fan would welcome arms Saban, but you got to do it in Tuscaloosa. They would burn the statue down. They would rip that thing and like decapitate the head of that statue if he went to
Yeah,
LSU. He would
yeah. I
destroy
mean,
his legacy straight up. Just destroy your legacy. Like everything you built over there was just not worth it.
or at least tarnish it to some degree.
Yeah. Um, I just I think I mean he's old too. If I was Saban, I wouldn't want anything to do with that, especially a head football coach or a major
So
power
suppose
program.
funny. It's funny you mentioned the Kiffin thing because I've been seeing stuff about basically he hasn't signed an extension yet at Ole Miss, and for some reason the Florida job seems to be the one that he would prefer to have if he were to take one. But he's basically been told that from inside sources, and not, I mean, from the video, the people that I watch, listen to, their inside sources have told him that he's been given a blank check at LSU. Whatever amount you want, it's yours.
I mean, that's a very enticing offer. That's like blank check, whatever you want. Like they'll write it up, but how long of a length of a contract would you give Kiffin, Bear?
I mean, as of right now, the Ole Miss, the state Mississippi state laws only allow them to have like a max of like 4 years. So why not do that? If you don't want to get tied down to a coach for 10 years, 120 million or whatever Brian Kelly had, start off, 4-year contract. Year two of the contract, he's got this team, in the college football playoff. Extend it out another 2 years or another year. You go to year three. If he's looking good, extend it out another 2 years. Just keep adding on to it. So you're not technically tied down and obligated to pay out a 10-year, $120 million contract.
That is a very interesting thing that LSU's got to think about here because they have
That's
a lot
that's
of
what the state of Mississippi does for their football coaches. It's their
that's
part
the
of their laws.
there's still a lot of dead money that LSU's got to deal with Brian Kelly. They're just gonna get done paying Coach O in December of this year. That's gonna be
Oh,
done with. So that's
I thought they were already done with him.
nuh They still had
See, hey,
these.
you see my plan. Bring back O, pay him cheap. Go buy two good coordinators, and just let him and Corey Raymond and Frank Wilson
I
go recruit.
mean, I mean
I
that's a
mean, at
that's
this point, this is what we're looking at. I'm just saying.
he said he would want to come back and coach here. But I think what happened with O after he won that, like he kind of lost himself, right? He didn't have the same drive as he won that title. He made it to the top. He did what he wanted to do there. I mean, he did it without like transfer portal and NIL before. He was able to assemble Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Now, look, I will say this. I'm gonna go on the record and say this. I personally think they fired him too early. They let him make he made the one bad hire with bringing back Bo Pelini. Okay, but if you go look at that 2021 roster, whenever Brian Kelly took over, or even at the beginning of the season, whenever they fired him, that 2021 team, a lot of those guys that were on that team as juniors and seniors, if you go through the guys who were starters, those juniors and seniors, they would have been either true freshmen or redshirt freshmen on that 2019 team. So that technically, that team that Brian Kelly took to the SEC championship, most of those guys on defense were O's guys that he had recruited,
Yeah,
and it just went downhill from there. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, that's just the way it is here. I think, yeah, Nuss was under O, I think, too. I think Nuss was 2020, I think, when he
Yeah,
got to campus. That seems about right. Um, we'll have
because
to see what
there
happens.
was there were like two or three starters on the offensive line, three of your four starters on your defensive line, and like two linebackers for sure, and a couple of guys in the secondary were all guys that were on that 2019 team that played in the rotation. They weren't starters, but we heard their name because going through the roster, you can recognize their names, and whenever you hear them so often on the radio or on the TV, they were on that 2019 team. Those were O's guys. So, like
LSU
I
needs
said,
to
technically, yeah,
LSU needs to
like
rehire Les Miles as offensive line coach.
bring in Les Miles as an offensive line coach at this point. I mean, the dude, that's one thing he was good at. We had a good offensive line,
And
and we
running
could run the
backs, man.
football.
You can't like
Well,
that was one thing that Les Miles did at LSU. You were gonna have a great
well,
offensive line. You were gonna run the football. You were gonna
that
play some smash mouth football.
that was Frank Wilson's doing because he was the running backs coach.
Yep. That was one of those. That was the two things you were gonna have with a Les Miles offense. I mean, I know. Look about the quarterbacks. That's another side of the coin that we won't get to too much. But I mean, he got him to national championship games more than one time. I mean, he won one in '07, came close to winning another one in 2012 when they lost to Alabama. But
Me personally, I would prefer like a Les Miles type offense where we can play, have good offensive line, run the ball, play good defense. All we need is a quarterback just to don't turn the ball over, just manage the game.
yep, I think that's a good way of doing things. I mean, you can even have a dual threat quarterback,
Yeah,
and that would work
I
out pretty
mean,
well too.
but just manage the game, don't turn the ball over.
Yep. So let's talk about LSU men's basketball here real quick here. Um, so on the whole entire night, LSU shot 32 of 61 shooting. They were 52.5% from the field. LSU knocked
Oof,
down 4 of 17 from 3-point range and converted 30
oof.
of 34 from the free throw line. FIU shot just 42.3%. They had 8 3-pointers and 13 of 21 from the free throw line. Marquel Sutton posted a double-double with 19 points and 12 rebounds in the game. So, along with Sutton, Michael Noguaco also scored 19 points to lead the Tigers on 6 of 7 shooting. 3 other Tigers scored double figures as well. So, very good performance from LSU tonight. They just came a little bit short of getting to 100 points there. Looking at their schedule up ahead coming for LSU men's basketball, they are 3-0 right now. They'll take on Alcorn State next Tuesday, which they should win that one. And then they get another game next Friday, November 21st against Omaha, both in Baton Rouge, both these games here. Then LSU is going to go on the road to take on Drake. LSU's designated visiting team in the Emerald Coast Classic, where they'll take either Georgia Tech or DePaul in the second game of that classic. So that should be something to see. It's going to be on the CBS Sports Network. If you're
Okay.
looking forward to watching men's basketball there. So what you think about tonight's matchup, Bear?
I mean, even though it was FIU who got beat by a very mid tier Nebraska team by 30, I mean, like I said earlier, they have four guys coming off the bench that either were starters last year or played significant time. So that's always nice to see when you can pull guys who were starters last year and they're on the bench coming in as your second team. Which I mean, but we're still having issues with rebounding and that whole 60% will beat teams like FIU, but shooting 60% from the floor won't beat half the teams in the SEC. So we gotta work on that. But I mean, and we gotta work on our inside game too. Like we gotta quit fouling so much.
Yeah, yeah, that seems like that's going to be the thing here. So looking ahead here, LSU women's basketball, they're undefeated as well to start the year here, and they've been scoring over 100 points. There hasn't been a game they haven't scored over triple digits. So needless to say, the offense is cooking. 4-0 to start out. They're gonna play. They're gonna go on the road to take on Tulane, and then that's Monday, November 17th, which I think they're gonna win that game. What do you think, Bear?
Yeah, Tulane. They're not very good. I mean, so this is still like we're going into the second week of tune-up games. So I mean, they should. I mean, they should just continue. They're going to continue rolling on against Tulane. They shouldn't have too much trouble. But we just gotta watch those turnovers, man. They're a little too sloppy for me. But hey, I guess I'm not the coach, so
Tulane and Alcorn State, what LSU has on the docket for next week, and then they go to the Paradise Jam, which that's Friday, November 28th against Marist. Then they'll take on Miami, Ohio, or Washington State on that Saturday, November 29th. In those two games there. So that'll be something to kind of see how they do there. Then they have the ACC SEC Challenge against Duke, which is going to be their most significant non-conference matchup.
Yeah,
Looking at it, it's just
definitely.
not really. Everybody else is not really up to like an elite program standard like LSU women's basketball is. Um, Kim Mulkey's been kind of toying around with her starting lineup a little bit, but it was like she's got guards wanting to play and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna go look and see what the predictor has to say because I love to see what the predictor has to say.
Yeah. Well, she's won multiple national championships, so I mean, but usually when a coach is tinkering around with the lineup, that means that she knows she's got issues somewhere, and she's trying to figure out who the best way to fix those issues. So it's good and it's bad at the same time. Tinkering with the lineup
Yeah.
just depends on how you want to look at it.
So predictors giving LSU a 26-3 overall finish and a 14-2 conference record. It's got the predictors got them losing to Duke. It's got them losing to Texas on the road, and it's got them losing at home to South Carolina.
Well, if we could win one of those games, that would be fantastic. It'd definitely help their RPI too.
It's got them winning at home against Texas, and it's got them winning on the road at Oklahoma. So
If
that's
we
two
could
top
win
10 wins right there.
we
So
could win two of those 5 games, that would really help their RPI.
yep, and it's got them. Let's see what the RPI. It's got finishing with an RPI of 20. That is the predict.
That would be that'll definitely get you into the tournament.
Net ranking, which is the most important part of
That that
basketball.
R that RPI of 20 should get you a
I
number
thought it
two
would give
seed.
me. I thought it would give. It did not give me the net ranking because I don't think it has any like formula to back up the net ranking from the NCAA.
Yeah,
That's
that should definitely get you a number two seed in one of the regions.
right now predicted net ranking for LSU is number 10 right now.
Yep, that'll get you a number
RPI
two
of
seed.
72 right now is the live update.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, like I said, if it's only the 4 games, and they hadn't played those other non-conference games against Duke, and they hadn't played the Texas one yet. So
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I think they'll beat Tulane. I think they'll beat Alcorn State. I don't think it should be much
oh yeah,
competition. I think that's going to be kind of just go through it and just kind of have fun with it. So it is time. It's Bears' favorite time of the week. Are we
yeah.
ready
So
to pick
yeah,
some football
before
games?
before well before we get into that, let's
Bring
break
up
the
the record
news.
book.
Bring
Let
up the record book. Well, unfortunately for Chief and Juicy, they still trail me by 3 games.
hey, we're staging
So
a comeback. Hey, champions are made in November.
yeah, just like you said about your fantasy team.
Yeah.
So looking at, I am at 160-39 overall for the season, and Juicy and Logan are tied at 157-42.
But honestly, though, that's all three some really good records pick wise.
Yeah, Juicy was at 2 games until he picked BYU to beat Texas Tech last week, and it pushed him back down to 3.
And I was able to
And
get that
last
win.
last week, last week you and I both went 12-3, and he went 11-4. So that's what allowed you to be able to tie
Yeah.
him. Was that
I don't know
one
how we're
extra?
gonna do this here because Juicy is not on the show tonight. He couldn't be
He'll
here,
oh he'll
unfortunately.
he'll send them in over text message.
Yeah, so he's gonna send his picks in over text message to Bear. Um, so let's pick these top 25 games, Bear. Clemson
Let's
taking on
do
number
it.
20, Louisville. Louisville favored by 2.5 points. Who you got in that game?
Believe it or not, so Louisville kind of got exposed by who'd they play last week? Hang on.
Let me go get
Louisville
this.
got exposed by Cal last week, and Cal actually ended up beating them in overtime. Clemson's coming off of a win, and they're in a must-win situation. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. We're gonna start this off right. We're gonna start this off with an upset. I'm gonna take Clemson to beat Louisville in a must-win game.
Oof. You know what? It's kind of like, I want to catch the lead with you. I want to catch up. I'm only 3 games back. I really, because I was actually going to pick this upset, but you took it from me. So I feel like I have to.
You can still pick it. I
I
mean,
don't want to pick it though because I want to close the gap on you, man. Because I'm like, man,
but
like it's a
it's
gut.
a
Like
50-50. It's a 50-50 shot.
it's a 50-50 shot, which is correct, right? But let's see here. You
I don't
know
know.
what?
I just
I'll,
got a
look,
weird
I'll,
feeling that
I'll, I'll agree with you on this one. I'll take Clemson. I
I
think
just
they're
got a
going to lead.
weird feeling that Clemson needs to
You
win this
know what?
game, and they're gonna
I
find a way
feel
to
the
do
same.
it.
I feel the same way too, and I'm just like, dang it, there. I was gonna pick that, man.
Sorry,
You
boss.
you stole my thunder from me.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Minnesota taking on number 8 Oregon. Who you got in that game?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Oregon, they almost I should have looked at the weather, because if it's a game last week in the weather like that usually favors Iowa, because that's their type of football. But this game's played in Oregon, and Minnesota
57 degrees.
is, yeah,
It's like
six and
cloudy.
three. I tell you what, yeah, this one we're not gonna pull an upset on this one. No need.
And I'm gonna take the Ducks. He's gonna do some push-ups in the end zone. Give me Oregon to
Yeah.
win this one. Wisconsin take on number 2 Indiana. Bear.
So Indiana got a scare last week against with Penn State. They had to come back and win the game right as time expired. Wisconsin's coming off a surprising upset win over Washington, which all three of us missed that one.
Yeah.
So, but this game's in
Which that was their
Indiana.
first. That was their first conference win.
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
first conference win. This game's in Bloomington, Indiana. So I tell you what, I'm gonna stick with Indiana. They should be able to handle Wisconsin.
Look, I'm just gonna say this: Indiana, like you got to give it to Mendoza, man. He stepped up to the plate for that team, drove them down the field, and delivered a beautiful catch, a beautiful throw. Great
They they
job.
al- they almost overturned.
Yeah, it was close, but I mean it was a close one. But I got Indiana winning it right there. Next up, South Carolina taking on number 3 Texas A&M. Who you got, Bear?
Well, South Carolina's a hard team to figure out, because they almost beat Alabama. They got beat by LSU. So Texas A&M beat the brakes off of LSU. But A&M's the best one. They've got a top 10 defense, best defense in the SEC by far. Marcellus Reed is he's proven why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. I'm going to stick with the Aggies. The Aggies shouldn't have any issues with South Carolina. Their defense is far ahead, better than anything that South Carolina's seen all year.
So I think A&M is going to win this one. I just think that it's just going to be one of those that they're just going to be able to, just be able to dominate it up front. I think they'll be able to handle South Carolina, be able to pick up the win against the Gamecocks in South Carolina. All right, next game we got on the list here is Notre Dame. Number 9 Notre Dame taking on number 22 Pittsburgh. Who you got, Bear?
So, Pittsburgh just kind of snuck in out of nowhere. Nobody's really heard or seen anything about them all year, but Notre Dame,
Notre
And
Dame needed them to be ranked though, so that kind of helped them out a
yeah,
good bit.
Notre Dame needed them to be ranked. They're coming off a win against Navy, which we knew Navy wouldn't have a snowball's chance in hell to beat Notre Dame anyway, which they have in the past, but this wasn't their year. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna stick with Notre Dame in this one. I have a feeling that Pitt might win, but I'm gonna stick with Notre Dame because we know more about them than we do Pitt. So
I mean, Notre Dame's been kind of hanging around, but this one kind of feels a little bit different here. I mean, I think Notre Dame they're going to play well, but I think Pitt's going to beat that spread. I don't think it's going to be 12 and a half. I think it's going to be 7, or it might even be closer than 7. I think 7. I'm going to go with 7 though because I think that's kind of the way it is. But I think that if I'm taking bets on this game, I'm going to go underneath the 12 and a half that
yeah,
Notre Dame and Pitt game is going for right now. But I do think Notre Dame does end up beating Pitt at the end of the game. Closer than what Vegas thinks, though. 18 Michigan taking on Northwestern. I got Michigan winning this one. Bear, who you got?
yeah, Michigan. Michigan should be able to win this game. Northwestern's playing better than they have in years past. They've been kind of sneaky good this year, but um, I think it's going to be closer than what the spread's calling for. I'll take Michigan by like 7 or 6.
Number 24 South Florida taking on Navy. Who you got, Bear?
So South Florida has been kind of up and down there. They beat Florida. They got drubbed by Miami. They lost to Memphis. They lost to. So I tell you what, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to pick the double wing to beat the Bulls this week.
Okay.
I'm I'm picking Navy to pull the upset because it is in Annapolis. It's a home game for Navy. So I'm going with the double wing midshipman to beat the Bulls.
Hey, you know what? I'm right there with you. I got the midshipmen as well, beating the Bulls as well. Let's do it. Let's go
Yeah, let's
for it.
do it. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Ride it all the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Triple option or
Arizona.
bust.
Arizona taking on number 25, Cincinnati. Bear, who you got in that game?
Yeah, Arizona's been playing good of late, but I don't know. Cincinnati's another one of those teams that's been sneaky good all year. They've got a couple of good wins on their schedule, and they're playing at home in Cincinnati. I'm gonna take the Bearcats.
Bearcats, you say? Interesting. You know what? That's a good pick. A very good pick. But I'm calling an upset. Arizona's gonna upset Cincinnati at their place. Give me the
Wildcat.
Wildcats of Arizona.
We got too many cats in this game.
Yep. All I know is a cat's gonna win. Number 11, Oklahoma taking on number 4, Alabama.
Okay, this one's a toss up because Alabama's been struggling running the ball. Um, what's his face? The quarter. Ty Simpson hasn't been looking as good as he has been in earlier in the season, but I mean they have been playing some better competition. Like I said, Alabama's struggling to run the ball. Oklahoma's strength on their defense is stopping the run. Oklahoma's undefeated on the road. So I'm tell you what, I'm gonna pick Boomer Sooner to pull the upset and continue to be undefeated on the road this season. Give me the Sooners.
You know what? I disagree with you. I think DeBoer is going to get his guys ready to play. I think Simpson's going to have one of his better games of the season here. I think Alabama's going to be ready for him, and I think they're going to be able to pick up the win against the Sooners and put a little knock that wagon off the trail. Give me Alabama.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
UCF taking on number 6, Texas Tech. Who you got, Bear?
Yeah, UCF is Scott Frost. I don't know. He needs some help. They're not very good this year. I'll take the NIL money. Give me the Red Raiders at home to keep rolling.
NIL, NIL, NIL. Give me Texas Tech to win. Or they got some people in Lafayette that call them let's see, UL West.
UL West. Because of Jerry Glasgow.
Yeah. NC State taking on number 15 Miami. Bear, who you got?
Oh, let's see. Miami's coming off a big win against Syracuse. I mean, that was to be expected. They kind of needed that win to kind of help turn their end of their season around. And NC State, they're 5-4, 2-3 in ACC play. So I tell you what, I'm gonna take Miami at home.
It's all about the U. Give me Miami to beat NC State. Number 16, Georgia Tech taking on Boston College. Bear, who you got in this game here?
Oh, I'll take Georgia Tech. Boston College is they're 1-9, 0-6. They're not very good. They're terrible.
I think that Georgia. So yeah, I think Georgia Tech wins this one here. I wish they were undefeated, Georgia Tech, man. Like I have a soft spot for Georgia Tech for some unknown reason. As a kid, I just like Georgia Tech. Just look like they're like one of my top 10 favorite like college football teams.
Well, when Paul Johnson was there back in the day, they also ran the triple option offense
Yeah,
too.
I think that I did like the triple option anyway as a kid. So I mean, that might be a reason why. But anyway, number 21, Iowa taking number 17, USC. Bear, who you got in that game?
So this game is being played in the Coliseum, but the weather's supposed to be windy and rainy.
Ooh.
Just like last week, and the weather always favors the Hawkeyes. And if it's a low scoring game, Iowa's got a chance to pull it off. So I tell you what, I'm going to pull the upset. I'm going to pick, and like you with Georgia Tech, I've always had a soft spot for the Hawkeyes. Don't know why. I guess because we used to spend a lot of time hunting and stuff up there and got to know some of the people. So I'm gonna pick the Hawkeyes to pull the upset and beat USC in the rain, in the wind, in the Coliseum.
You know what? I agree with you right there. I think Iowa's offensive line is going to set the tone and take control of the line of scrimmage and knock that USC defensive front back. I think
Well,
I do
and
think that is one reason for this game here is because Lincoln Riley teams struggle against more ground and pound offenses than they do the real gritty offenses, right? That get down in the mud and the dirt. His teams typically struggle against those more than spread offenses typically.
yeah, and
Uh,
here's something else about Iowa too. They also play like a very Tampa 2 style defense. A lot of cover 2
yeah,
cover 2 zone. So that also doesn't favor USC as well.
yeah. So I got Iowa winning that one. Number 19, Virginia taking on Duke here. Bear, who you got in that game?
So Virginia, I'll tell you what, Duke for some reason always seems to have Virginia's number every year. It's either a really close game or they end up beating them and whenever they shouldn't have. So I tell you what, this game's at Duke for home. I'm picking Duke to win, to pull the upset, beat the Cavaliers.
Look,
Golly, I picked a lot of upsets this week.
yeah, so yeah, like looking back over it, I mean, I understand that Duke's fighting for bowl eligibility. They're 5-4 right now, 4-1 in the ACC. They're doing very well in the ACC, so they got a lot to
Yeah,
play for. Duke, they're not dead in the water by any means here. If you look at the overall
no,
picture, you got to think that hey, Duke's dead. No, they're not because they're on the 4-1. They could potentially make the college football playoff. You heard me say
yeah,
that. If they get in that championship game and they win that thing, guess what? They're in the
it's an
CFP. So. Um,
automatic bid.
yeah, I think Duke wins it. I think Duke's going to be able to pull off an upset against number 19 Virginia. Next game we got though is New Mexico State taking number 23 Tennessee. Bear, who you got in that one?
Oh, Tennessee. This should be a cakewalk for Heupel.
Yeah, I think Tennessee takes care of business there. I think should be simple there. Shouldn't be much here. So interesting here. Florida's 3-6. They're gonna go on the road to Oxford, take on number 9-1 Ole Miss here. I guess I'll ask this to you, Bear. If Ole Miss loses this game, are they out of the college football playoff discussion?
It depends on how I mean, we don't know what to make of the committee this year because you mean to tell me you're going to put Notre Dame ranked higher than Miami, even though Miami beat them? So, I mean, what happened to like honoring the head-to-head matchup wins? I just don't get it. I don't understand what the committee's doing this year. So, I mean, you
I don't
technically
understand.
you would think Ole Miss would be in it because of their ranking and their conference record and everything, but like I said, nothing's guaranteed this year with the committee.
I don't understand something about the whole like when we came out with the playoff and stuff. Even years ago, I had this idea. I was like, "There's no way that every person in the committee can watch every single college football game. It's impossible. It's humanly impossible. Even if you had the 4 split screens to watch all these games all at the same time while they're going on to really get an in-depth feel with these teams anyway." What should have happened was we should have kept the BCS. Now, and we just made a playoff format out of it. Let the formula dictate it, because that was the best ranking system we've had in college football history.
Exactly.
Um,
I've said that from the start. Like, why
because
do we?
that you can have your auto bids for your conference champions. You know who the champion is already. You like just throw it in there. And if you rank the 12 and if they're conference champions in that top 12, they get plucked out of the 12. And then you just have at large spots or wherever you want. Then you have your one G5 representative because you know whoever the highest ranked G5 team is going to be in that BCS ranking anyway. So, um, yeah, like I mean that's kind of thing, but they're like, well, it punishes teams if they lose later in the season than others. Well, then I mean, you should maybe lose earlier in the season than if you don't want to be in that situation.
Well, I mean, here's the thing too. Like, if we're not gonna honor head-to-head matchups and who beat who, and we're going off of first of all, why do we have members on this college football playoff committee that have no association with college football, have not been a coach, athletic director, or some sort of capacity involved with college football? Why do we have these random people on here that have nothing to do with it? And if we're not going to honor head-to-head matchups, we're going to put Notre Dame ranked ahead of Miami, even though Miami beat them. They have one fewer loss than Miami does, or the same amount of losses. Like, we're like you said, we might as well go back to the BCS system and make a playoff format out of it, because we're
Yeah,
basically at that point. If we're not going to honor head-to-head matchups and just look at, so we just need to go back to the BCS system. It was the most impartial system that we had.
I mean it basically you got 3 parts of the formula. You got a computer, right? That that makes whatever judgment calls needs to make, whatever's weighted in it. I think strength of schedule is calculated into it, and I mean
Yep.
the computers.
Margin of victory.
Yeah, margin of victory, all that other stuff there. Then you go look at
So
you still
wait.
got the coaches poll and the AP poll formulated into it as well. So you do get the coaches' opinions in it, and you
Okay.
get the media's opinion in it with the AP poll. So you kind of get a nice mixture of a good crowd, which I think it's not too bad here. Um, Instead of
So
like it's just wild to me.
why can't we go to the RPR system like they use for all the other sports if we're gonna do this?
Good
If
question.
we're talking about going back to the BCS system, we can go back to a system like that. It was fair, it was impartial, but we can make an RPI system out of it like we do for baseball and softball and basketball.
The biggest problem with the BCS was that it was hard. It's not a good system for picking the best 2 teams. It just
Well,
wasn't.
no, that's why you go to an RPI system. I mean, it works for the other sports. Why wouldn't it work for football?
Hey, that's above my pay grade, bro. Number
Ours
13,
too, but
Utah.
I'm just
Number
wait. We
13.
didn't even we didn't pick the Ole Miss Florida one.
My bad.
We
I'm
skipped it.
yeah. I did mention it, but I think we got off on a tangent.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got uh I got Ole Miss. What you think, Bear?
yeah. With even with all the distraction going on, I think Florida's still a little bit overmatched. I mean, DJ Lagway's been benched, so Florida's a mess right now. I'm gonna take Ole Miss.
Number 13, Utah taking on Baylor. I got Utah winning that one. Who you got, Bear?
I mean, Baylor's a pretty dangerous team. They've got enough. They need another win to be bowl eligible, but I just don't think they have enough to beat Utah. I'll take the running Utes in this one.
Number 1, Ohio State. I got Ohio State Buckeyes winning this one. Who you got, Bear?
I mean, Ohio State. There's nothing else to say.
Now, probably the biggest game of the week. Number 10, Texas taking on number 5, Georgia. Bear, who you got in that game?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because Arch Manning has 700 had averages. He has over his last two games passing. He's at 700 yards. Georgia gives up. Their pass defense is actually one of the worst in the SEC. But they are playing. Texas is playing on the road. It's a big game. The last big game Arch Manning had on the road against a good team. I mean, week one he played Ohio State. He struggled. They lost. And Georgia's playing at home, and I still can't trust the Texas offense. So I'm gonna and Texas has issues with their running game as well. So I'm gonna pick Georgia to beat Texas at home.
So, here's a little tidbit of information. Uh, guess who was spotted at Georgia practice this week?
Yeah, he got hard too.
Yeah. Billy Napier ended up making it.
Sunbelt Billy.
Yeah, he's now part of the Georgia Bulldog coaching staff, and you seen what
He's a
Florida
he's
did
a
in
re-
Texas.
he's a recruiting specialist, I think is what his title is.
Yeah, so you seen what Florida did to Texas, right?
Yeah,
And that's why I'm gonna go with Georgia. I think Georgia's got the blueprint to beat Texas, and I think Kirby and all
yeah,
them is gonna take care of business in between the hedges in Athens. Give
yeah.
me Georgia beating Texas. TCU taking number 12, BYU. I got BYU this one. Who you got, Bear?
Yeah, TCU. I mean, they're 6-3, but I mean, I just don't think they have enough to beat BYU. And did we miss the LSU Arkansas game? Was it on here?
I don't think they're not a top
No,
25
it's not a
team.
top 25, but we still got to pick it anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's at the end. Like I'll save it for that's for last, right?
Oh, I see. I'm jumping ahead.
I didn't forget about it. So who you got, Bear? LSU or Arkansas?
11 a.m. kickoff in Baton Rouge. Like I said earlier, Garrett Nussmeier, we now see that he is actually part of the issue of LSU's offense because no Brian Kelly, no Joe Sloan. Still a bad offensive line that actually played a little better, but not much. Still don't have a running game, but he made some mistakes, and that's why Frank Wilson did what he did last game. I'm talking about like he pulled Nussmeier on the sideline and just basically ripped him a new behind. Like it was bad. So and he was just not happy with the way Nussmeier's been playing, the decisions he's been making. Now LSU's defense did play a little better, even without Whit Weeks. I mean, they've been playing good overall, but I mean they were a little more aggressive. They actually looked like they had a few nice hits, knocked Jordan ball loose on caused a couple of incomplete passes. But I mean Arkansas's been playing better. They almost beat Tennessee, which I mean Tennessee's defense isn't very good. But I tell you what, until I see something better out of LSU's offense, I'm gonna pick Arkansas to win.
Interesting. I'm gonna disagree with you here. I think LSU is gonna beat Arkansas because I'm gonna tell you why. I don't think Nuss is gonna be the key to the game. I think it's gonna be LSU, the backup quarterback. I think he's
Van
gonna win it
Buren.
for him. Yep.
I mean,
I think
my heart wants them to win, but I
I
mean, just
think
based.
I think his dual threat ability is going to make Arkansas having to compensate for that, and his arm's going to expose Arkansas secondary. And I think that's what's going to happen in this game here, because whenever you got a terrible line, you got a mobile quarterback be able to move around and stuff like that. I think that's going to be the big difference in this game here, because
Well, you
I
remember Arkansas's got a mobile quarterback too, and we struggle against mobile quarterbacks.
yeah, that is a thing on the defense here. So hopefully Blake Baker can figure out what's going on in that game there and able to put a spy on Arkansas's quarterback there and able to go sideline to sideline.
Hopefully
Hey,
put
how's it
hope,
going? Welcome to the Fish Bowl. But yeah, like
hopefully
I think
put
that's
a
gonna be part of
spy
the
on
issue.
him. We didn't put a spy on Pavia, and we didn't put a spy on Marcellus Reed. So we lost those two games.
Yeah, it's just gonna like if LSU is gonna have to defend sideline to sideline in this game against Arkansas here because
Well, I
they're gonna
mean,
have to get somebody. Like I think Perkins is gonna be the guy for the job. I think they need to put him on the spot on the quarterback, and because I think he's their fastest linebacker LSU's got. I think they can go left or right,
well,
pretty quick, sideline to
well,
sideline.
yeah,
If you
because
don't have weeks available.
I don't think he's playing again this week either.
Yeah,
Lord,
trending trending on that was it looks like he's trending to be doubtful. So I don't think it's going to be very good to see. So I think that's going to be part of it. That if you're going to have to go sideline to sideline to kind of see how they're going to go here. If he gets outside the pocket here, another key to the game is going to be LSU's defensive ends. They're going to have to contain him in the pocket. Do not let him get outside. And so okay, have we named a starting quarterback yet? So
Frank Wilson
from
said both will play, so we don't have a
yeah,
starting
Frank
quarterback.
Wilson said they're gonna have a 1A and a 1B. So it's gonna be Nuss. It's gonna be the backup quarterback. We'll see how we're
Van
gonna go from
Buren.
there. I don't know what kind of are you going to the game Saturday? I will not be there. I'm gonna be a part of a softball tournament at Youngsville Sports Complex. So my little group that we got playing there is gonna be practicing, but I will be watching the games and stuff. So it's for a nonprofit. So but let's see. Let's see here. So looking ahead to this game here, and I think LSU is gonna get it done. I think so. We do have someone from the Fishbowl that's going to be over there in Baton Rouge. So, like, trust me, we have more than like. It's not going to be Chief ain't going to be over there. My good buddy Mike Contra will be there. Do you have a YouTube
Oh
channel?
my,
Yes. Good old Mike, man. Me and Mike go back for many years. You have a
Mike
YouTube
Honcho
channel.
for the win.
So, at Fishbowl Nation on YouTube. This live stream is also going there on YouTube as well. You just have to go follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X. I still like to call it Twitter every once in a while, but X is just the way to go. So yeah, we picked on the top 25 games. Bear, anything you want to say before we get off here on this live here?
Well, I mean, like I said, my heart wants LSU to win, but I mean, Arkansas's got all three things that we've struggled to win games with this year. Mobile quarterback, I mean, and Nussmeyer making bad decisions. Like this, something's got to improve. I mean, we now see that he's part of the problem. So I mean, I mean, I love my Tigers. I hope that they win, but man, it seems like baseball season just can't come fast enough at this rate.
All right. So thank y'all for tuning in here to this episode here of Fishbowl Sports. Whether you're following us here on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, that's where we go do our lives at there. So we do have LSU merch available through our Walmart creator partnership. Walmart's been very good to us here. We have a link to our Fishbowl store on our YouTube page right now, live right now, and on should be on Instagram. Let me make sure this thing is still up here before I'm even lying to y'all guys. There it is, right there, QR code, right there, top left corner of your screen. You can just scan it with your phone and scan on your phone and just get stuff going there, and it'll be very good. And you can get all your stuff going there, and it'll put you where you need to go. And it like anything you buy through Walmart's site, whatever, we get compensated for it. So we would greatly appreciate if you bought, either if you don't want to buy LSU stuff, you don't have to. If you buy Christmas stuff or whatever,
Yeah, you have access to the whole
yeah,
Walmart
you like
website.
the only thing we don't get commissions off of is any food products. So like even if you want to sign up for a trial, we Walmart Plus trial, we get commission for that. So that helps the podcast out here. We do have a this is the last week of our partnership with Team Whiskey as well. So I mean, if you haven't got any gear from Team Whiskey at all, they've been very good to us here. Very nice people. I like what they do with cancer. Their donation to the cancer research and stuff. So great to partner with them here. So hopefully we
Oh, we
get
we
some.
have a viewer that popped in and said hi.
Oh, I didn't even see it here. Let's
It's
see
Chris.
where.
It's at Crisco's Country Life.
Oh
Hello,
yeah,
Crisco.
like he's been talking to me on the Facebook side of it. Let me see if I
I'm
can
I'm
type.
just I'm just now seeing it on my
Oh,
end. So
yeah, it
hey,
it,
how
it kind
you
of
doing,
snuck up on me.
Crisco? Go Tigers!
Yeah, it's kind of a lot here. Let's see. I'm gonna look. Let's see. Yeah. So look, that's just kind of the thing here.
Welcome to the
Yeah.
Fishbowl.
Yeah, welcome to the fishbowl. That's what we like to give. That's what we like to give the name to Fishbowl Nation and stuff. So yeah, so we have if you want to follow us everywhere, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, 7-year YouTuber. Well, you know what, Crisco, guess what? We've been doing this stuff since 2012. I started this podcast whenever I was, let's see, shoot, I'm in my 30s now. So I was like 18, I think. I think I was 18 when I started the fishbowl. I took a break after 2017. Took like 2 years off, and then hey, same here. I'm from
Yep,
the 337 too, buddy. I'm from South
337
Louisiana, man.
SWLA checking in. Go Jackets!
I'm up in the Red Devils of Port Barry. Crackling Festival coming on this. I gotta give a shout out to the Crackling Festival. Uh, y'all go get some cracklings at the Crackling Festival, man. Like
We got Flea Fest this weekend at the
there's
Burton
always festivals
Coliseum.
going around South Louisiana. So I've been probably to do y'all follow Saints and Cajuns too? Yes.
Cajuns,
I did a
yes.
pod yesterday actually with the Cajuns. Yes. Like so we used to do the Saints, but it's so much to keep up with all the roster movements and stuff. I would like to get the Saints going on too, but I am glad that Tyler Shaw is our starting quarterback now. I do feel bad for Rattler a little bit, but I think it was time to move off of him. I think
Yeah,
Shaw is definitely
I had my doubts about Rattler, but I mean about Show, but he seems like he's elevated this offense. Hey, Bobby Abear's got
yeah.
good things to say about him, and Bobby never says anything good about anybody from the
I
Saints.
expected the Saints to put Shaw in at some point anywhere, or Shaw. I'm still trying to pronounce his name
Shuck
correctly,
or
but
Shuff, whatever his
Shaw,
name, I
yeah.
don't know.
But because they invested a lot of draft capital in him, I mean, second round pick, you're going to play him at some point here. If he's going to be your starting, let me know if y'all interested in collab in 2026. We will, Crisco. I'm interested here. It'd be cool to have some guest pickers on here too. I mean, we've been kind of doing that kind of thing here. So guest picking on the fishbowl. We've had guest pickers here before too. I
Hey,
mean,
I started out as a guest picker, and look at me now. I
yeah,
hit the big time.
yeah, yeah. We hopefully Juicy joins us on our next. I'll be at the game Saturday. Hey man, if you got any pictures, send them to the fishbowl, man. We'll give you a shout out. We'll give you a shout out to your channel and stuff. I'm all about helping out creators because I worked in broadcast media for five and a half years. So I do I do like graphics and stuff like that. So this stuff's all kind of cool to do. Nice little hobby. Let's see. Get back on cam here. So yeah, like go get some gear. Nope. Camera left. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, Crisco, we've got an
Stand
interesting
strong.
menagerie of lifestyle here because like Chief is the whole content creator slash graphic design slash news slash sports
Yeah, I, I
and
I've done.
Juicy
I have been everywhere in South Louisiana. Okay, like that is not
Juicy's
me.
an oh, I was gonna say Juicy's an EMT by trade, and I am a gas measurement technician by trade. I have a relatively boring career compared to these fellas.
Uh, during my news career, I covered Hurricane Laura. I was in Lake Arthur when Laura came ashore, and that was pretty nerve wracking. I'm not gonna lie. I've probably saved somebody's life actually that day because I remember me and my reporter was out there on the side of the road, and they had this truck hauling down the road. I could do a StreamYard, bring y'all up on a panel. Hey, that'd be cool. I've done StreamYard before. StreamYard's pretty cool. I do like using vMix too. vMix is a very good platform as well. If you don't like to pay monthly subscriptions or anything like that, so that is another good platform I recommend. But it's very good for like if you have cameras and stuff set up already before. Like it'd be good to take a show on the road and do vMix. But yeah, I've StreamYard's been very good too. Whew, all right. Thank you for tuning in.
What we need is some fishbowl merch. Is what we need, like some
I am
hats
actually working on that right now. I was gonna text y'all about that stuff actually, but you know
on the website.
we do have our website. Our website we put articles up, you know, about the Cajuns.
Or even on the TikTok channel. Put it on the TikTok shop or
Yeah,
something. I
like
don't know how they do
I'm
that.
kind of working on the TikTok shop a little bit there too. It's so much stuff you got to take care of with social media that it just takes levels, right?
Yeah,
Step higher.
you almost have to be like dedicated to it, like all day, every day.
Yeah, so I'll check out Crisco. I saw you were at Mama's what was that? A couple of days ago.
Business cards too. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, yeah,
good.
dude, I love me some Mama's fried chicken, man. Whew.
Choo.
I do love me some
No, cuz you ain't had fried chicken till you went to Balls in Lake Charles.
I,
That is some fried chicken.
I don't know, man.
Balls fried
Dude,
chicken is where it's at, my boy.
Bear, you've had Mama's. I know you're from Eunice, bro. Oh, never mind, got off here. All right, Crisco. I'm gonna get off here. Thank y'all for tuning in and supporting the Fishbowl. We couldn't do this without y'all. Hope you have a great, wonderful night. We'll see you here next time here on the Fishbowl Sports. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.